let's go get the bombs. You know... What's the worst that can happen? Oh. Stardew Valley. What can be said about this game? Well, to start, it was made by Concerned Ape on February 26, 2016. There is going to be a spoiler section in a minute. We'll put a little warning and a time frame that y'all can skip to if you don't like to hear the plot spoilers. But essentially speaking, for those that are here for the basic gist, to start, Stardew Valley starts off as a very innocent, farming game with some adult content. It does have plenty of potential in such of, for example, if you wanted a game that you could kill time, if you want something that you can make art with, it's got it all. And now, spoilers ahead, please, future me, hopefully you put the time skip in there for our amazing viewers. If not, please bonk future me. So, 5 seconds and we'll begin. Alright, that should be given enough time to those who wish to pause and skip to the time frame. Essentially speaking, the game starts off very Harvest Moon-like, where you get a letter from your grandpa saying, don't open it until all hope is lost or until you feel you're ready for a change. You fast forward to your 9-to-5 job where you are at the all is hope is lost moment. You don't really get too much of the life before you open the letter and go to the farm, but that doesn't have really any impact on the game, as once you open the letter, you hop on the bus and you go to Pelican Town, where you meet the wonderful Mayor Lewis, and eventually you get to meet the rest of the townsfolk. On day 5 of spring, what essentially happens is, if you're lucky or if you go to town, you see the mayor at the town center or the community center, and it begins your entire plot, because then they go in and think there's a rat problem, which that rat problem turns out to be magical apples, otherwise known as the Junimo. The Junimo are here to basically help you rebuild the community center, because reasons. And for the most part, you could either work with the Junimo, or you could sell your soul to Joja, where once you sell your soul to Joja and spend 5,000, the community center then becomes a Joja warehouse. And the only main difference between the routes is what resources you care to give up. Do you care about your extra fancy fruits, or do you care about your money? If you give up one or the other, you end up with a similar to about the same end. The townsfolk really don't care whether or not you sell them out for Joja. The worst part is, you could, in theory, go through the entire community center down to the last item, get the most benefits from the community center, and then sell it out anyway for shits and giggles. Now, essentially speaking, after that, there is a little bit more plot where you have to, if you befriend the wizard and the townsfolk enough, that you go through the plot of getting the magical ink from the wizard, and you get the ability to make teleportation devices along with a golden clock. The perfection run is the main goal, should you ever really want to go for it. It's out there, it's gonna stare at you hauntingly, but the game overall has infinite time. There's no real repercussions to taking as much time as you like. In theory, one could just not do anything and sleep for 360 days, or fence off the entire town, or help townsfolk. But there are rewards for befriending the townsfolk, and that is, you get cutscenes, you get the townsfolk to give you gifts. The game has plenty of things to do. Aside from that, to start, you can max out your skills, unlike Harvest Moon, where it is closer to Rune Factory in that regard, where you level up your skills via EXP by doing a thing. For example, if you chop down enough trees and forage enough, you get better foraging skill, better forage, and of course the berry bushes will give you more. If you raise your fishing skill, you get better quality fish. Should you raise your fighting skill, you get better at combat, you get slightly better HP. Mining, it's just there. Mining does help in regards to its benefits, but realistically speaking, it's one of those skills that takes a minute. Truth be told, it took me the longest time to get the mining and fighting skill up, because usually the fighting skill you have to kill certain monsters to get EXP, but essentially speaking, even with the farming skill, you get better crops. And then of course there's miscellaneous events throughout the game, like for example, fairies, witches, meteors, owl statues, the list goes on. Aside from that, there are other hidden things that you can explore the town for to get, and that's the part that's amazing. This game has so much to give after all these years. It's taken players so long to discover all the secrets, and even then, with the perfection run, you could basically spend your time gathering gold walnuts, collecting all items, befriending all the townsfolk, marrying someone. You essentially speaking have to do everything in the game to achieve perfection, and then get the gold walnuts, the gold coconuts. Essentially speaking, the end game does get a bit evil, but you get to go to a volcanic island and you get to resurrect the paradise, or the town's vacation home, and you get a second house and everything, and the game opens up. Overall, the game does give a lot, and would have to say, this is a game for everyone. Do you want to max out fishing and just spend your days fishing? Go for it. Do you want to befriend the town? Go for it. Pelt them with rocks because it's funny? Go for it. Make a chicken army all named Cuckoo? Go for it. The game has a lot of potential, and the best part is, you could even make your farm and your household into an art piece if you'd like. You could do as you see fit, and once you unlock the greenhouse and other things, you get unlimitless potential. Didn't even cover the desert or the fact that there's at least 3 dungeons, and then there's also more secrets to be found. Heck, you could even do glitches and exploits to get to where you see fit. In many cases, this game is not a letdown, and for the price that it is asking for, would recommend. Of course, you get to do whatever you want with the townsfolk. My favorite thing is trying to see if we could break their path, or see how many times we can either try to marry as many people, or test the limits of the game. Because for the most part, the world's your oyster, and the world is worth exploring, because in the end, it basically goes down to, in short, you live a boring life, and then you get to go to the land of Pelican Town, where you get to meet the colorful cast of characters, you get to witness your day-to-day life change, and the world is how you make it. You want to make $1 million? You can do it. All you have to do is plan out and put together your best bet. You want to plant 1 million strawberries? Go for it. The game doesn't really punish you. If anything, heard there was supposed to be an antagonist which was supposed to try to throw a wrench in things, but realistically speaking, the only evil is Morris in Joja Mart, and he just sits there behind the desk. You could spend your heart's content doing whatever you like, and there's only minor inconvenient events which will screw you over. Like the fairy who has to evolve, who has to basically skip a few plant stages, throwing your whole harvest map off the grid. Oh, you planted a turnip next, or you planted 9 turnips? Yeah, we're gonna get 4 of those. 4 of your turnips are gonna be ready a day later. So, have fun with that. But, who knows what the game has? Who knows what the game has coming and what to expect? Maybe more? Maybe this is the end? Will y'all join me at perfection? At the peak? Well, besides joining me at the peak, we do live streams at www.twitch.tv/AeroZensen. You could also follow me at the Twitter. All the links will be below. With that said, thank y'all for watching. Y'all stay safe, keep being amazing. This is AeroZensen, signing off.